Welcome to the Shellonomics Podcast, your source for pure Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles entertainment, presented by King Mictus.
All right, guys, another episode of Shellonomics. We're here with our good friend Christian from TMNTDERTALK. We've been covering a lot of ground lately. We just finished the 1987 series that's on YouTube and Spotify. Now we're going to dig a little deeper. Some say this is the worst creation in Ninja Turtles history. I disagree. We're going to dive a little bit more into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Next Mutation. Christian, tell us a little about this show and how it came together.
Oh man, that was in 1997, and it was the first live action series, and it was made by Saban, the same guys behind Power Rangers, because Power Rangers was the big thing back then. And yeah, they wanted to do a turtle show. So, well, they did it, and well, as you said, not everybody was happy with it because it's kind of goofy, you gotta admit. But I remember back then when it wasn't on TV, I enjoyed it, and I still can enjoy it. I see what the problems are, I see its flaws, but still I have fun with it for what it is. I say we should get into it.
I agree, friend. I'll give my overall thoughts on the show later, but in the beginning, I was hyped because, again, 1996 was the end of the original cartoon in our, United States. I know we talked in a previous episode that Christian didn't get the Red Sky for a while, so we had no Ninja Turtles for a couple years. So imagine life without Ninja Turtles on your television. So 1997 rolls around, we see some promos. I'm like, as a kid, this looked pretty cool because it reminded me of the first three movies with the action. The girl turtle, it was like, what's this all about? I'm not sure. But again, when it says it's from Power Rangers, we knew Power Rangers was in very good hands at that time. I believe 1996 was when they were just starting Zeo, and 97 was Turbo. So they were still at an all-time high, crushing it over there on the Saban side. And for me, this was only on Fridays. It was kind of cool. It was almost like a little kid's prime time. It would come on. The beginning theme, now, I don't know if, real quick before we go into the episodes, Christian, did you hear both versions of the song? Because on Netflix now, there's some, all due respect to the band, it's terrible compared to the original, Na 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 Ninja, Ninja Turtles. That song always got me hyped. I love the rhythm. I love the lyrics. What song did you hear for the series?
I heard the original one. And funny thing here, they were even called Ninja Turtles now, because if you remember with the original cartoon, they were called the Hero Turtles over here. But now on German TV, they in this show, the Turtles were called the Ninja Turtles. So we finally got Ninja Turtles, and it was the same song. It was German. It was dubbed. The song was dubbed, but they still sang the Na 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 Ninja Turtles. And I heard about the second version that's on Netflix and so. And yeah, it's different, but it's not as catchy, I gotta say. I'm a fan of the classic.
Yeah, the lyrics don't make any sense. It's something about we're fantastic, never panic. When did you ever hear the Turtles panic? I mean, the lyrics are just so goofy, and it's like I don't know. It almost sounds like it's it almost sounds like an AI song just because there's like no lyrics, and it just makes really no sense whatsoever. But yes, we've got a big thick one here that we nearly didn't get in the Turtle series. This is almost like Power Rangers Green with Evil, and what we're getting here. Oh, excuse me for that. What we're going to be getting here, friend, is East meets West in 5 parts. Can you believe that? A 5-part miniseries. Let's get into it. East meets West. Here we go.
Yeah, East meets West. As I said, it's a 5-part miniseries. I don't know, because I remember, I still have it. There's a VHS. We had a VHS that has a cut of all these 5 episodes, like cut together to like be a big movie. I don't know if you had that in the States.
Yes, the VHS. Yes, we did. We did have that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So yeah, East meets West is the start of the series, and it's kind of sort of a continuation of the 90s movies. It's It's not really, but sort of, because I mean the turtles used the subway layer like they did in Turtles 2 and Turtles 3. And yeah, they are older. They're almost 18 now, and the Foot Clan is still a problem. Redder is there. That's the one of the bigger continuity problems if you want to connect these to the movies. And yeah, then some dragons from another realm try to get to our world. And in China, there's an old man called Chong Yi, and he's trying to keep these dragons from escaping this magic mirror. But they kill him, and he's got like an adopted daughter who turns out to be, big shocker, a ninja turtle. I mean not a ninja turtle because she was not trained as a ninja, but a mutant turtle, I gotta say. And her name is Mei Pi Chi. And well, then she goes to New York, meets up with the other turtles. They call her Venus de Milo. And yeah, together, first off, they defeat the Shredder. So the Foot Clan is no more. Then they save Splinter from the dragons because they have captured him in this dream realm. But through all this, the dragons escape into our world, and the turtles now have to stop them because the leader of them, the Dragon Lord, wants to eat the turtles so that he can use their mutant powers to become the most powerful thing, whatever, to take over the world. And also for this, there's the storyline where they use this spider brosh that has like some seemingly magic in them, but it turns out that there's a placebo. And so the turtles can defeat the dragons for now. They escape in the end, but now they are a new family with a new family member, Venus de Milo. They stay together to fight the new big bad guy, the Dragon Lord, and the dragons. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, for the first fight, that was a very long, thick series too. I thought the miniseries was cool. This is where the pros and cons come into play for me. Again, the action isn't that bad compared to what we had in the animated series. The only thing I wish they didn't do, and they also did this in the third movie of Ninja Turtles, is the sound effects. We didn't need the the whoopee cushion and just zany sound effects were, to me, just a buzzkill, and it would take you out of the moment. I don't know if they were just trying to get a comedy purpose approach, but when you're getting kicked in the face, you shouldn't hear a whoosh like a cheesy Looney Tunes sound. You should hear a kick, it's just that always rubbed me the wrong way. But there were some cool things here. I don't know if it was in this episode, but I do know Shredder does bring up in this series about slicing off Splinter's other ear. I thought that was really cool because that also brings up the movies. Ninja Tude, I just have my own little notes here. Kiss My Shell, some of the other things they were playing. Dream Walking. I thought that was pretty wild with Splinter being captured. And what did you think of this Splinter? Did you like him?
Most of the time, he was still like this wise master, this ninja master, and but sometimes, as I said, was the problem of the series. He got a little bit goofy. Like one time, he says, "No, don't fight the bad guys," and 5 minutes later, he. You know what? Go fight the bad guys. It's okay. I'm old. I can change my mind. Like,
I had that note.
Chill.
I had that exact note in my notes too. That same spot. They tried doing the Leonardo Raphael fighting each other all the time. That was okay. Raphael with his somewhat hothead approach. Raphael. Now, you're more into the comics than I am. Was this the first time Raphael had a motorcycle, or did he have one in the comics prior?
Let me think. No, you might be right. This is the first time Rev has like a permanent motorcycle. Like sometimes he took one for a ride or anything. That could be, but this is like the first time that he has one permanent just for him. So yeah, That's actually, yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's something that the 2003 cartoon took over, apparently.
Yes, that's exactly how I felt, especially when you played the video game. So that was another cool part there too. But yeah, we've got our groundwork here of what else we have. We've got another close to 20 episodes here to check out. So I also did like Dragon Lord's voice. His minion, it almost reminded me of like a Muppet or like a Sesame Street, like an Oscar the Grouch kind of silly sidekick who just is a. I don't think he was necessary, but maybe they were just trying to get little kids' attention. But, they have to remember, most of us who grew up with the original show, 96, 97, we're 12, 14, 16, 10. We're not 5 or 6 anymore. So it's, I guess they were still trying to reach younger kids too with a couple of these characters. But let's go into the staff episode here, episode 6.
Yeah, something that you mentioned that's very interesting is that kids who grew up with the classic cartoon were now, could be like in their teenage phase now, in 1997. So why didn't they make this show more serious, like for more, a little bit more adult? Like,
Yes.
it could have been interesting for teenagers. Like, yeah, so I grew up, so did the Turtles. They could have made something really cool there, but they still took the kids approach. Like, okay, we still do it for little kids, sort of, kind of. I always wondered that, why they went this road.
Yeah, and Shredder was gone in 2 episodes. I mean, he comes back, as you see if you hang out with us on Spotify and YouTube throughout this podcast episode. But yeah, Shredder was done in 2 episodes. And now we go into the staff of Buki, I believe it's called, or Bukai?
Bukai, if I remember correctly.
Yep, that's right.
And this is also pretty funny because the Dragon Lord reaches through time and space because he can do this, apparently. Something that he never uses again, to get a mystical staff that can shoot the energy from a magic user, because Venus is no ninja, she is a shinobi. And yes, if you know, that these are the same thing. These are just 2 different words in Japanese for ninja. But okay, here it's a shinobi is like this mystical warrior from China, and she can use magic. And with the staff of Bukai, the Dragon Lord can attack the magic wielder, like shoot their magic powers back at them and defeat them. And he uses this against Venus, but Venus is able to overpower it in the end and stop the Dragon Lord again. And in the end, the Dragon Lord throws the staff back through time. Like, here, you can keep it. I don't want this anymore. Like, why doesn't he use his time magic again? Like, okay,
yeah,
I guess that's it.
The writing just goes all over the place. Again, if you go into this show with even open eyes, I guess maybe, and you're not expecting the hardcore ninja action, for what it's worth, it is still okay. But yeah, the writing sometimes seems to go off the wall. And real quick question before we get into our next episode here. Were you a fan of the old Looney Tunes back in the day, the classics, the Bugs Bunnies, the Daffy Ducks?
I love the Looney Tunes.
All right. Well, then, would you agree that Yosemite Sam and our new character here, Simon Bonesteel, kind of share a little resemblance?
I see what you mean. A little bit. Yeah.
All right. Let's go into our next episode here, All in the Family, and the debut of Simon Bonesteel here.
Exactly. In this episode, the turtles try to protect a normal turtle that was captured by a hunter called Simon Bonesteel. And he's one of the goofiest characters in this show, but honestly, the way that the actor is portraying him, I always get a laugh out of him. I love this character for this because he's so goofy, he's so crazy, he's totally nuts, and he's like the best hunter in the world. But, well, we never see him being successful with his hunting. Okay, gotta believe it. This whole story is about the turtles meeting Bonesteel, and Bonesteel finding out about the turtles, and he's trying to hunt them because, there are only 5 of them in the world. He could sell them like for lots of money. But the turtles protect this little baby turtle. And in the end, they are able to defeat Bone Steel and save the baby turtle. But now Bone Steel is after them. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yep, and then I do like some of the endings of these shows too, because it gives you that, like, to come back for more, and you'll see that in a lot of these shows if you guys ever do check them out. The good thing is these are all, I believe, on YouTube right now on a channel. You can find them all for, obviously free to watch, and the DVDs and whatnot are also, I believe, only like $9 or $10 on Amazon. So here's our next episode. We go from Big Louie and the Purple Dragons in the comics to a big ape. For All in the Fam, Silver and Gold, our new friend here.
Yeah, we once again meet another new bad guy called Silver, who is like this Yeti who came from the Himalayas because he was bored, and he became like this gangster boss. And he's got his goons who all dress up like I don't know, bad guys in the 30s or something. Yeah. I don't know.
Almost like Dick Tracy, if you remember the Dick Tracy movie, right? Like
Dick Tracy, totally. Yeah. And yeah, of course, the turtles run into him, and he's like, yeah, all that he wants is money, money, money. And he's stealing money from banks, and he's trying to steal gold. And in the end, there's this part where he steals all this gold from this safe, and the turtles are able in the end to stop him, but Donatello and Venus almost get blown up because he's like, what did he do? He locked Venus in this safe with a bomb, and Donatello was in the last minute was able to free her before it all explodes. So yeah, the bad guy Silver escaped, but the turtles were able to save all the gold. So yeah, once again, Silver will be back.
Yes, exactly. I thought this episode was pretty cool. I don't mind him at all as a bad guy either. And now we go into a, let's see here, episode, what we got here? Turtles Night Out, I believe is the next one. Mikey having his own show. I thought this was pretty wild.
Yeah, this is one thing that Mikey has, like this pirate radio show where he's using the Mutant Marauder, the Turtles' new vehicle, to drive around town, and he's having this show where he is playing music and talking to people. I thought this is cool and it totally works for Mikey. And yeah, he's like planning a rave party to raise some money for endangered animals, but Bone Steel also hears about this and thinks this is a good time to hunt some turtles. And there's also another street gang that's like, oh, we can steal some money from them, and they also get in there. So there's like, of course, a big fight between the 3 parties, like Bone Steel, this gang, and the turtles. But of course, in the end, the turtles win and they raise some money. So yeah, everything turned out fine in the end.
Yeah, I didn't mind this one at all. And now, how did you like this other character that's coming up? Meet Dr. Queasy, I believe his name is, right?
Dr. Quees.
Please, thank
Dr.
you.
Cornelius Quees.
Thank you.
Yeah. He is a crazy scientist, like we didn't have enough of them already in the classic cartoon.
Yeah, and Professor Sofo, and the list goes on, correct.
Oh yeah. And actually, Donatello is a big fan of him because Dr. Quees is into mutations. But then the Dragon Lord kidnaps him and offers him like this big lab and all this technology. And Dr. Quees like, okay, I work for you now. So he's now working with the Dragon Lord to find and catch the turtles. And yeah, but in the end, the turtles, they escape, and but Dr. Quees is still working for Dragon Lord, and once again, we will see him again.
A lot of these guys kind of almost have like quick turnarounds. I want to make sure, hopefully we're on the same page. I'm using the Wikipedia guide for episodes, so hopefully we're on the same page, and if not, just let me know. Next one is Windfall with Mikey getting a nice little possible being a millionaire.
Yeah, that was the episode where Mikey finds the lottery ticket, the winning lottery ticket, and he now, well, he thinks he can be a millionaire, but Silver is back. He wants this ticket. He wants the money. So there's this, of course, there's this big fight between the turtles and Silver and his gang for this ticket. And yeah, the turtles, they all the time they're thinking about, oh, what can we do with this money? Like Leonardo wants to open his own dojo and things like this. But Splinter is the one who reminds them this is not your money; it belongs to someone else, because there was this old man that Silver tried to steal from the ticket. And so in the end, the turtles give the ticket back to the old man, and Silver does not get anything from it, and he's even more angry with the turtles now.
I like that 8-bit. Now, did you have any of these toys growing up? I did not, but a friend of mine did have some of these action figures from the Next Mutation, and they did look pretty cool, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I still have a lot of them, like the turtles, Splinter. So the first wave I have complete. The first wave with Silver and who's also there, like Shredder, Dragon Lord, of course, or the Rank Warrior, like the Dragon Warriors. But one thing is that we never got an action figure for Dr. Queeze.
Wow,
They had some plans for it. I have seen some photos, like some promo material, but it was never released. There's some people suspect, because on the action figure, he's on his lab coat. He has like a big red, it looks like blood on his lab coat.
Oh,
And so they thought maybe that was too gruesome, so they never released him.
oh,
Yeah, unfortunately.
oh, yeah. It would have been cool to have a figure. Well, maybe NECA will bring him back. NECA seems to be bringing everything back. Maybe one day we'll see Next Mutation. Well, Super 7 just did a 2003 series, so you never know. Even though Saban's got the rights, maybe NECA or Bandai, or I guess we'll see in the future. But coming up next is more on Mikey's Pirate Radio show here, I believe, in Truce or Consequences.
Yeah, in this episode, it turns out that some of the dragons are actually fans of Mikey's show, like Wick, little helper guy of the Dragon Lord, says that he's a big fan, and Mikey believes him. And it's, of course, a trap. Mikey gets caught, and the other turtles have to save him. Even though Wick even admits that he's like, yeah, I'm actually really a fan of your show, but I gotta do what the Dragon Lord tells me. So yeah, Mikey gets caught, and the other turtles have to save him. And so, yeah, everything actually turns out fine in the end. The dragons are once again defeated, and Mikey does not get eaten. So that's a plus.
Yes, 100% agreed. Yeah, I didn't mind this Michelangelo. The more I watched this show, the more I grew to like him. We'll talk a little bit more about Leonardo. If you guys ever hang out in our Discord, we were doing a lot of watch parties so I can study these. And oh man, I almost had to make a swear jar, Christian, because I was making fun of Leonardo too much in this show, just because it doesn't feel like he gets any character. And we'll dive into that more when we complete the whole series. But I just wanted to throw that out there. So here comes another. According to Wikipedia, this is the episode guide they're using. I had a different one, but for my notes. But this one is a 4-parter. With some weird little kids with adult voices and a vampire and a heart that jumps around. I don't know where they were going with this. I was really confused as a viewer. But apparently they have it out for Venus, and the turtles aren't really grossed out about it. So feel free to break this down for us. Unchain My Heart.
Unchain My Heart is a 4-parter where we meet 3 new bad guys. There's the lady Vami. Then there are these 2 kids, Bing and Chichu, and all 3 of them are vampires. And Vami is like this super powerful vampire that was sealed away by Chang-Yi, like Venus Master, and she's resurrected. but she does not have her heart. So she will, she will be destroyed sooner or later if she does not get her heart again. And who has that heart? Venus has it. She doesn't know about it, but she has it. And so basically, this whole story is about the vampires trying to get back the heart from Venus. And because as soon as Vami is resurrected, the heart starts, beating again and starts to jump around, as you said, because it wants to go back to Vami, and it's crazy. There's even a part there where the other turtles think like, okay, let the vampire have the heart because then she will leave us alone. But as soon as it turns out that they also want to kill Venus, they're like, okay, you're not getting it. So they're fighting again. Oh yeah, and Bone still is also there in the mix. At first he's hunting the turtles, then he's hunting vampires, then he's working together with the vampires to hunt the turtles. And in the end, the turtles are able to trick Vami, like using sunlight, and she actually turns to dust and is defeated for now. Yeah.
Very random, hard to keep up with everything, but yes, thanks for nailing it that way and giving it a good English translation, just because I was very confused as a viewer with what's going on. The lady needs Sundown, and Bone Steel wants to try and work out stuff with them, and he captures them too during the show, which was really weird. So, but yeah, next one coming up. This one has Power Rangers written all over it. For those who are fans of the original series, Mutant Reflections, Saban did this a couple times with the Power Rangers being evil or having clones. So this one I enjoyed. This is probably one of the better episodes in the series, in Mutant Reflections.
Yeah, but it also has some confusing parts because Dr. Queese has created these clones of the turtles. So there are now 5 turtle clones, and he wants to send them after the turtles to capture them for the Dragon Lord. So there's this big thing where these clones attack the turtles. The turtles have to fight these clones, and it's crazy. In the end, the clones get destroyed. But it was so confusing because these clones, they did not act really like clones. Like they were, I'm Turtle Cowabunga. They were more acting like robots. And they even had these mechanical parts on them, and the turtles took these parts off them and it's like switched them off. So they were clones, but they were acting like robots. It's really confusing a little bit, but yeah.
Yep, pretty much. We're doing our best here to explain these. Maybe one day we'll have either on TMNT Derek Talk or Shellonomics, we'll get one of the writers and maybe they can help us out as best we can. Because we're trying to do this show justice. I don't hate it. It's just it gets hard to figure some of this stuff. Again, they're writing for kids, but I wonder if we could have explained this to people, it would have been probably tough. So here comes another one, King Wick.
Yeah, in this episode, it's the big Wick episode. And as I said, I like Wick. He's goofy, but he's funny. And because of some potion that he creates, Wick gets superpowers, like he can shoot lasers from his eyes, and he's able to become the big boss, like the Dragon Lord becomes his minion, and now he wants to go after the turtles. And so now Wick is hunting the turtles and he's shooting lasers at them through his eyes. But in the end, Leonardo is able to reflect the laser back to him, and it defeats him, and he loses all his powers. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
And here is the most confusing episode. If you can explain this to everybody. Like Brothers, this seems like it's a rehash of just a whole bunch of old episodes, almost like a filler just to get their contract for the X amount of episodes. And I do want to touch the base on this after you share the ending, because I was so lost on this one. Like Brothers.
Well, this is one of 2 clip shows in just one season.
Yeah, right.
It's once again Raph versus Leo. They are fighting, and they're fighting, and Leo and Raph, they agree. Okay, we're doing like this competition, and whoever loses the competition has to leave the lair. And it's Raphael who loses. And through all this, they're like, "Hey, remember that time we did this and that, and then remember this time," and like a clip show. And well, in the end, they agree. Yeah, what was the ending again? The turtles, they agree. Okay, we are brothers. We need to work together. Don't fight. And actually, it's Venus who's like, "Hey, remember your family." And the turtles, they are like, you don't have to tell us anything. And they are like, "Yeah, who does she think she is? Ha ha ha." And through their, I don't know, hate for Venus, they like come together again. It's wild.
That's kind of, yeah, because it was Leo and Raph fighting each other, fine. But then Mike and Donnie are arguing who was right, Raph or Leo. Yeah. And then Venus is yelling at everybody. And then all of a sudden they're just like, we're okay. It's like, wait, they didn't say, "Hey, I'm sorry for yelling at you," or anything. Don't worry about it. We're out of time. We've got our 22 minutes for our show. We have to go to the next episode. Yeah, the ultimate Clip Fest show for sure. It was just, okay. I don't understand why this one exists, but hey, it's there, I guess, if you like turtles. But now we're going into Going Ape. This one I thought was I kind of enjoyed this one, Going Ape.
Yeah, once again, a pretty goofy one. Yeah. Because Raph runs into Bone Steel. Bone Steel hunts Raph. And suddenly the rank warriors, the Dranks, appear too. And Raph tries to hide in like this abandoned building. And what none of them knows is that there's an escaped gorilla also hiding in this place. So we get all these shenanigans with Bone Steel, Raph, this gorilla, and the rank warriors. And they're like, it's crazy. It's Looney Tunes. And well, in the end, Raph and the gorilla become friends. And yeah, he's taking the gorilla back to what was a circus or a zoo, I don't remember. And it was always like this, because this costume for the gorilla, it looked like something out of a Halloween story. It did not really look good, I gotta admit. Even though I gotta say, the costumes of this show, the Turtles and Splinter and Venus, they look not bad, I gotta say. They were well done. But this costume of the gorilla, not so much.
Yeah. And Raphael was funny because he always had an angry face. When you could tell they changed costumes when they were doing the action scenes. They always had the angry head on Raphael.
Oh, yeah.
When he would throw those kicks. Now we go into Splinter's friend who he plays chess with a lot in The Guest.
Yeah, he's a guy that we've met in the first episodes. He's Andre. He's a blind man who is a friend of Splinter. And Andre gets thrown out of his apartment, and he doesn't have a new place to stay. So Splinter invites him over to the Turtles' lair. And once again, it's crazy. It's shenanigans where Andre, Mr. Magoo style, is causing trouble. And there's also Dr. Quiz in the mix, because he's got a new weapon that's like this staff. And it gets mixed up with Andre's walking staff. But Dr. Quee's staff is a weapon that can like destroy everyone and things, something like this. And so he's hunting, so he's after Andre, and the Turtles have to protect him. And in the end, they destroy the staff. And Andre gets a new apartment, and everything is fine and cool in the end.
There you go. Well said. And our good friend Queez is back in Trusting Dr. Queez.
Yeah, 2 Queez episodes in a row. In this episode, Donatello suddenly thinks like, maybe Dr. Queez is not as bad as he seems. And he, in secret, starts working together with him again. Because Dr. Queez is like, if we can work together, we can defeat the Dragon Lord. We can send him back into the magic mirror world. But actually, he's tricking Donatello to get him for the Dragon Lord. And for a long time, Donatello doesn't realize this. He's really working with him together with him. But in the end, he's like, okay, you were right. Dr. Queez is a bad guy. Like, duh. And yeah, the turtles, well, they go to Dr. Queez's lab and beat up some rank warriors, and yeah, everything's back to normal.
Pretty much. Now, here's a good true or false question. For those who have seen the show, you'll know, but probably if you didn't, I'm pretty sure you'd laugh at me if I were to tell you this. True or false? The Ninja Turtles have played laser tag. I still can't get over that. There's a scene in this episode we're about to talk in where they play laser tag in The Good Dragon.
Yeah, that's the start of the episode where Venus and Rev are playing laser tag because they can. And there they run into another dragon who is actually nice, who was saving Venus from a bad dragon. And he's a good guy. And actually, story-wise, this episode I really thought was interesting because we find out that way back the dragons were not evil. All dragons were good, but one, and that was the Dragon Lord. And the Dragon Lord turned all the other dragons evil, and he's like one of the last good dragons out there, and he wants to stop the Dragon Lord. And so he's actually it's a pretty confusing story because at first the good dragon is working with Venus, but then he kidnaps Rev to give to the Dragon Lord because he thinks he cannot defeat him, so he should work together with the Dragon Lord. But then Rev tells him, you don't have to be evil. And that good dragon's like, okay, I think you're right. And then they're working together again. But in the end, the good dragon realizes, no, I cannot defeat him alone. And he goes back into the magic mirror, and he swears that someday he will come back with other good dragons to take the Dragon Lord down. But yeah, it's like there's some interesting bits there that could have meant something for the future. But well, as we know, this was the only season of the show. We never saw him again. So yeah, that's it.
Unfortunately, and now we do was starting to get popular again in the late 90s, online chat rooms with Sewer Crash.
Yeah, this is Donatello is in the chatting rooms because in 1997, 98, this was the new big thing, like online chats. And I always remember Donatello on the computer, like, talk to me, cyber babes. But Silver is using that against him because somehow he is able to use technology through the internet to hypnotize Donatello. And Donatello then starts to work for Silver, starts like stealing stuff for him. And Rev is the one to find out about it, and he wants to stop Donnie, but Donnie does not know what he's talking about because he was hypnotized. But then they work together and stop Silver and defeat him, and then they're off. Even though, if you think about it, Donatello was never healed from this. He could still be hypnotized because if you say banana, he gets hypnotized. And if you say banana again, he gets dehypnotized. But what would happen if you say banana again? Will he turn bad again? We never know. It's never talked about again.
Yeah, just one and done. Forget it ever happened. They try to use that old Men in Black like a vanish pen, like where you just lose your memory, I guess, because a lot of these episodes they didn't go anywhere. They had that cool see the end, the end of the episode. I will get my revenge one day, and then chills, and then I guess forget about it, and it never came back. So, anyways, I guess technically this is not the series and season finale, but it should have been, I guess, is Enemy of My Enemy.
Yeah, once again, this is an episode that starts a very interesting storyline that we never got a follow-up to because Shredder reappears, but he's now a confused, homeless man because of what Venus did to him. like using her magic on him at the start of the series, that drove him crazy. And he's now on the street, and he's got this magic, mystical, sort of kind of golden shuriken that the Dragon Lord finds out about. So the Dragon Lord and his Dragon Warriors go after Shredder, and the turtles, they are, for a while at least, fighting with Saki, because Splinter tells them that he is no longer the Shredder. He can't be good. But in the end, Shredder goes back to his old ways, betrays the turtles, and is using some kind of lightning powers that he has to defeat the turtles. And well, in the end, it turns out that he's more becoming like the Shredder that we know. He has the golden shuriken. He has the power of this golden shuriken. What will he do with it? Will he become the Shredder again? We'll never find out.
Yeah, unfortunately, again. And this would have been a cool one if they were going to have a season 2. Like, it's all right, cool. Now we can get back to the Shredder because, again, Dragon Lord was cool in the beginning, but then he turned into a laughingstock. I don't think he ever successfully made an attack in the entire series. I think maybe like he hit like a stooge or like a backup character, but I don't really recall. Maybe he took out Venus once, but I really can't recall when he swung his sword or would like go for a kick or a punch, he actually took out any of the turtles. So he was a very, very not a somebody to take as a threat. I think Bone Steel was probably the best villain. But before we do our recap, I guess we do have one more episode. Apparently, Who Needs Her?
Yeah, which is the season finale, the series finale, unfortunately, because after this it got canceled. And it's the second clip show of this series, because in this, the turtles... okay, I gotta start there. That Venus is using some magic and it fires back on her, and the turtles start making fun of her. Like, hey, remember the time when her magic failed, and this time and that time? Like, oh, we got all this clip show. And so Venus leaves the turtles' lair, and then the turtles go after her. And Venus gets captured by the dragons. And the turtles, they try to save her, but in the end, she's able to save herself. Like, hey, I can take care of the dragons myself. And then the turtles like, yeah, that's our Venus. We are a team again. Hooray. And then they run off, and this is the end. The credits roll.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I guess before we give our overall thoughts, let's we are planning on doing a Turtles Power Rangers crossover series, but I'd rather get this one with this because it makes more sense. The Power Rangers the Turtles actually appear in a Power Rangers series, Shell Shocked. So if you want to touch on that real quick, I'm sure you've seen it. What were your thoughts when you saw them in a Power Rangers show with, I believe it was the Power Rangers in Space?
Yep, that was Power Rangers in Space. And well, the story is pretty much that apparently the Turtles of the Next Mutation exist in the same universe as the Power Rangers. But the bad guy of the In Space series, Astronomer, summons the turtles and is able to hypnotize them and sends them after the Power Rangers. But the turtles are acting like they are good guys. Hey, we have to team up. And the Power Rangers like, yeah, cool, the turtles are real. And, well, they team up, but the turtles actually steal the spaceship from the Power Rangers. They take it for Astronomer. But in the end, the turtles get, well, they go back to being the good guys. So the hypnosis stops. And together they team up with the Power Rangers and fight the bad guys and defeat them. And the Turtles and the Power Rangers are friends now. And, well, that's the end of the story.
Yeah, and then they never come back as they go on sewers and they surf in space, which I don't think is very safe to do with the air, but it is what it is there.
With no helmets or anything. Yeah, of
exactly.
course.
Just having a good time up there. Yeah, so that's the end of this series. I guess just a rapid fire question for you first before you give your overall thoughts. Did you like instead of Cowabunga, we got Bada Boom in about almost every episode by one turtle? That was the new Cowabunga. and I believe the other one was in America, certified turtlefied. Did you like any of those slogans or catchphrases?
It worked for this show, I gotta say, and somehow certified turtle fight is some kind of funny, but it never took off. It never was. It wasn't the next Kawabanga, and even Booyakasha is more synonymous with the turtles than Bada Boom or Certified Turtle Fight. So but it worked in the series.
Yeah, I agree. So before you get your thoughts, I'll just share mine really quick. Leonardo is almost useless in this show, in my blunt opinion. They say he's the leader in a couple episodes, but he doesn't really take command. He looks like he screws up a lot. He looks like he whines a lot. It was a pullback for me when I saw it at the beginning because he always just had one sword, and I'm so used to him having two katanas in the cartoons and the video games and the comics. He does use the two katanas, I believe, a couple times, but it was just really weird seeing that. The headbands, I got confused there too because they had different looks. I believe Leo and Don had them cover their whole head, and I think Mike and Raph were more the old school ways. Voice acting wise, I thought they all did okay. Venus was okay too. The puns got a little old very quick where she couldn't say, easy as pie or piece of cake. She would botch those, and I guess that was just with her world. Her sensei passing away, this show did have me engaged in the first episode. I'm not going to lie. I really enjoyed the first episode. Into the second one with Shredder and what's going to happen and who are these characters. And like you were saying, they kind of play off the movies because the Foot invade the lair. And although, like you say, Shredder somehow survived the attack from the movie. So again, it's which movie are we talking about? But again, it gets a little loop-de-loop. It is kind of difficult to explain where the show goes. Bone Steel's probably my favorite character of this whole series of all the new characters. I liked him the best. What are some other funny spots here? And again, they just did a lot of playoffs on words. In one episode, hey, The Nutty Professor is a popular movie in 96, 97. So in one episode, they say Eddie Murphy is nutty. Just little goofy things like that. There was, what was the other thing here? Oh, I also like there was one episode where they did superhero talk, and Mikey likes Superman, as do I. So it's kind of funny how your main turtle still resonates with a lot of other commonalities. Could this show had a second season? Perhaps, but based on storylines being very confusing for kids to explain to them, another kid, hey, did you see that episode? Yeah, what happened? I don't know. It was kind of hard to explain. But yeah, it's in Turtles. Is it the worst thing ever created for Turtles? I would say no. Well, maybe we'll get to that and touch it in a different episode of Shellonomics here on YouTube or Spotify, but for me, it's not the worst. Rewatching these just so I was able to do an episode with you for the podcast, I did enjoy it. We had some fun watching it in Discord. But Christian, again, you're more a passionate turtle guy than me. You have the ability to hype up all turtles. So what were your overall thoughts on the Next Mutation as a whole?
Yeah, as I was watching it back then, I really enjoyed it. I watched all every episode. Nowadays, I see its flaws, as I said. Something that we didn't even mention is that some of the turtles have different weapons. Like Mikey is using the tonfa, and as you said, Leonardo is only using one sword, which he calls a katana, but it does not really look like a katana. It's like a straight sword, and stuff like this. And we got some new bad guys, like the Dragon Lord. As you said, Bone Steel. I'm a fan of Bone Steel. I would love some new version of him, like in the IDW comics. Like, this could be cool. But it was so goofy at times. Like, one other thing, the vehicles, the new turtle van, you could not call it. It was like a Hummer.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool. But the stories, they were, as we mentioned before, sometimes there was like a story going on, and sometimes it looked like oh, we have only 2 minutes left. Like quick, come to the end, get to the end. Like with no real explanation. Like okay, we do like this, but now we do another thing because we have to come to the end. And this was and it was always like, as you said, Leonardo was all the time like, hey, nobody listens to me, I'm the leader. And Venus, I gotta say, I liked Venus. I gotta say, as a kid, I had a little crush on her. I thought she was cute. Overall, it's a goofy series. It's like in its own world, with its own rules. I mean, gotta say, some of the action scenes were pretty cool when the turtles were fighting the bad guys. They had some good action scenes. The costumes weren't half bad. I mean, once again, they are not Jim Henson style, but not bad for what they were. And some of the storylines were very interesting. But I would have liked to have for the show to have a second season, because I heard rumors that in the second season, like April or Casey could have appeared. That could have been interesting.
Oh, that would have been great.
Yeah, and the return of Shredder that was teased there. So there are some things that I thought I would have liked to see more of this world. Who knows? Who knows? Nowadays, I think everything is possible. Like, I don't know, IDW is like doing a comic sequel to the show or something. Hey, who knows? I would be there for it. As I said, it's got its problems. I understand when people say that is not for me, this is too childish or anything. I can understand this, but still I can get my enjoyment from this. I have my fun with it. And these episodes, they're so short. Like you can watch them like doing your housework and like keep the show running, keep it in the background, no problemo. These are my thoughts. It's an enjoyable series. It's not as bad as people make it out to be. It has its problems. It could have been different, but it's still part of the TMNT multiverse. So it has its rights to be there.
Yeah, no, I agree. I know Peter Laird was not happy at all with the Venus de Milo character, but I didn't really mind her because they wanted to try and do something else. Again, it was like, they again, with the outcry of parents with violence, they couldn't really get too dark still in the 90s. They had to be more laid back. So I guess that's why they threw in the goofy sound effects. And instead of punching the guy, sometimes they would just tap him on the head and like do like tickles, which was weird. But then sometimes they're punching these guys in the face. So I really couldn't see which way they were going. But yeah, if you like Turtles, Christian, I encourage you to just at least check it out and see it for yourself, just to enjoy another piece of TMNT nostalgia history. Christian, it's been fun. Where can people find your podcast?
Yeah, it's been fun as always. And if you want to check out more of me, check out my podcast, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Talk. You can find them, pretty much everywhere. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you can find them. Or just check out the website, TMNTTalk.com. There you have everything, all the social media. I'm pretty much everywhere. I'm on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, pretty much everywhere. Check me out. Come on over. Let's have some turtle fun.
All right, Christian, we hope to see you again real soon, friend. Take care.
Thanks. Until next time. Bye.